Good evening. I'm Brett Stroh, Board Chairman of the BEK Communications Cooperative, and welcome to our annual meeting. At this time, I will call the meeting to order. We will be taking questions from our members during the meeting via the BEK Facebook page. Article 2, Section 1, annual meeting requires a meeting in the month of June at such place designated by the Board of Directors. Welcome to the 68th annual meeting of BEK Communications Cooperative. There are 9 members present in person, which is insufficient to establish a quorum. Additionally, we have received 1,029 signed member votes. The bylaws and the North Dakota law allow the cooperative to count members in person plus signed votes for determining a quorum for those items set out in the written ballot. Article 2, Section 4 of the bylaws provides that a quorum consists of 2% of the total members. There is a quorum to consider the 5 items on the written ballot. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to our nation's flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We will begin with the invocation from Father Joshua Eli of the Cathedral of Holy Spirit Church of Bismarck.
Almighty God, we thank you for all the good people of BEK Communications, for all the good work that they're doing in a particular way on behalf of the Cathedral Parish here in Bismarck. We're grateful for every one of them, and we ask an abundance of your blessing upon them today at this gathering and every day this upcoming year, that the good work that they do may continue to bring joy and peace, the truth, news and information to draw people together and to make this community, these communities of North Dakota stronger, more peaceful, more joyful. Bless them today and every day. We ask you, we beg you, and thank you for their good work. May it be abundant and may it continue with your guidance. And we ask this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you, Father Eli. I would like the BEK Board of Directors to introduce themselves. I am Brett Stroh, District 2 Director from Tappan.
Bill Becker, District 4 from Wishick.
Bob Subert, District 2, Robinson.
Gerald Burlack, District 4, Wishick.
Kevin Bernhardt, District 3, Linton.
Leo Meyer, District 3, Hague.
Sanford Williams, District 1, Wing.
Shane Morris, District 1, Regan.
Vicki Martin, District 3, Linton.
Thank you, fellow directors. I would like to take a few minutes to provide the basis for the voting procedure we are using this year at our BEK annual meeting. Article 3, Section 5 of the bylaws authorizes the co-op to consider signed votes as part of the annual meeting. Signed votes shall be valid and entitled to the same force and effect as a vote in person, if the member has previously been notified in writing of the exact motion and resolution on which the vote is to be taken. Signed votes shall be used only when specifically authorized by resolution of the vote of the Board of Directors. The Board authorized the use of signed votes at a meeting of the Board held on April 22, 2020. The ballots were authorized at a special meeting of the Board on April 24, 2020. All eligible voting members received a ballot via the U.S. Postal Service mail. All member ballots returned with a signature were registered electronically, counted and verified under the supervision of independent tellers, and results will be shared later in the meeting. Our election tellers, whom we are eternally grateful for, were Sarah Groton of Wilton, District 1, Randy Kapp from Medina, District 2, Holly Will, which was also our lead teller, from Hazelton, District 3, and Doreen Bechtel, I like that, Bechtel, Wishick from District 4. Thank you, tellers. I would ask Brenda at this time for one of our first Facebook questions.
We have Tim from Linton. Tim asks, my work schedule does not allow me to attend the BEK annual meeting. I enjoy being able to participate via Facebook this evening and doing the signed voting procedure this year. I'm wondering if BEK will allow the signed voting again next year.
After the annual meeting, we're planning to send out a survey to our members to get feedback on how the future meetings will be handled and participation. We're really impressed with the turnout that we got this year, so I'm hopeful. The notice of the annual meeting was provided on page 3 of the annual report, mailed on May 22nd. The certification of mailing was completed on May 22nd by the Chief Financial Officer of BEK Communications Cooperative. The complete minutes of the 2019 annual meeting are on page 22 to 23 in the annual report. The complete minutes of the 2019 annual meeting were approved by the members with a recorded vote of yeses 979, no 9, spoiled 41. The motion passed. My report is found on pages 8 through 11 of the annual report. I hope you had an opportunity to review it. Additionally, I would like to add a few words to that. And as you know, our slogan this year is Think Big, Inspired Locally. When we say inspired locally, we are talking feedback from you, the members, and also all of our customers. And a couple of examples of how we do that is back in the day, some 14 years ago, Jordan was saying today, we started what we now call BEK Sports, BEK Broadcasting. We were inspired by you, the members, when you were telling us that it would really be nice to see our kids on TV as the distances between our towns are getting so far apart. Is there anything that we can do? Well, we were about to introduce TV at the time, and we needed a catch. Wow, wouldn't that be great if we could put your kids on our TV? Well, here we are today in a pandemic using our BEK Sports to broadcast your annual meeting. Come a long way. Our internet, which everybody knows about, is one of the fastest in the state. In fact, we received an award from the Broadband Now organization, giving us the title of fastest in the state and among the fastest in the nation. We are also NTCA's 1 gig certified co-op. But that's not all. When this pandemic hit, we decided to help out just a little bit more. And we went from 250 meg as our low-end internet provider to 500 meg. And those that had a gig now have 2.5 gig. Wow. When we look at our business line, we now have 6,000 business customers on our IP telephone. That's extraordinary. We have 11,000 customers and 6,000 business lines besides those. Since the pandemic, we've had to add video conferencing lines and many, many more lines just to keep up with everybody that was working from home and the kids at home. So why do we do all this? We do this for our customers, and our offerings draw. When we go into the new towns, when we hit East Bismarck, West Morton, and Oliver counties, Barnes County, Valley City, ICTC, Absaraka, we knew we had to think big. And yet our sales department was tasked with the challenge of getting 90% penetration. Everybody says that's impossible. Every one of those communities, you have given us 90% penetration or better. And you know, that takes another thing that we have in our big, think big and inspired locally. It takes good employees, and we have some of the best, and we thank them for getting us there. Moving on, our Secretary's report, Treasurer's report is available on pages 12 to 16 of the annual report. Auditor Chris Skidmore of Moss Adams will share the audit report presentation with you.
Hello, my name is Chris Skidmore. I am the audit partner from Moss Adams LLP. We are the audit firm that your board of directors has hired to audit the financial statements of the cooperative for the year 2019. This is the fourth year that we've done this engagement, and in each of the last 3 years, I have been able to present these results to you at your annual meeting in person. This time, I am coming to you via pre-recorded video from the corner of my bedroom, which I have turned into my makeshift office, much like many of you or many others have done. I would very much rather be there in person, but we'll have to do that another time. As you can imagine, us accountants are not necessarily known for our on-camera abilities, so what you are watching is not take one. Whatever version you're watching right now is likely a very later take. So I hope this goes well, and I hope that we can still feel like we're connecting, even though we're not looking at each other. In this short video, I'm going to address 3 things related to the audit. First, I want to address a little bit about the relationship between us and BEK Communications. And then I want to talk a little bit about the audit results themselves and close with a few comments about the financial statement highlights that I think are at least noteworthy enough to discuss here in this setting. First of all, the relationship between Moss Adams and BEK Communications. I think it's important to illustrate that we are hired by the board of directors. We report directly to the board of directors and report to you, the member owners. We are not hired by management, although we do most of our work with the management team. And I think it's important to just illustrate who we answer to. We don't answer to management, we answer to the board of directors and to the membership. That's important to know, primarily because you can feel confident that we are independent, both in form and in in appearance, and able to do the audit in such a way where it's not influenced in any negative way. The second thing I want to mention is the audit results themselves. The audit opinion was a clean, unmodified audit opinion. It's the kind of audit opinion you want to have. The financial statements themselves are not in parts of them have been provided in the information that is available in the annual meeting booklet, which I don't know exactly how it's being delivered, but I imagine you have access to it in some way. The full set of financials can be accessed through BEK Communications personnel at the request of a member. But the audit opinion, again, it's a clean audit opinion, nothing to report, nothing negative, nothing adverse, nothing that anybody should be concerned about. The financial statements are materially correct in all, and there's really nothing I needed to bring up at this point. I did want to discuss some of the highlights from the financial statements that I think are significant. And much of this is discussed already by members of management and the board in the annual meeting packet, but I thought it would be amiss if I skipped it myself. This was a big year for the telecommunications industry, especially those in rural America, as many faced the opportunity to make a decision to stay under a certain type of regulation or to move to, not really regulation, to stay in a certain type of way in which you receive federal support, or to move to a new way in which you receive federal support. Both have some strings attached and both have their pluses and minuses. But in this year, BEK Communications elected to receive federal support in the new way, in a fixed way for 10 years, rather than in a way where the historical way, the legacy way. That was a big change. Take that and then add on top of it the fact that 2019 was the first full year which the cooperative had the operating results of intercommunity telephone, which was something that the cooperative acquired in 2018. So with those two things, you saw remarkable changes in revenue, operating income, and net margins. Specifically, a $10 million increase in revenue, a $7 million increase in operating margins, and then lastly, a $6 million increase in the net margins, which are the margins that are then available to be allocated back to the membership. That's a huge jump in 1 year, a big year. Certainly noteworthy, and also an indicator of what the future is going to look like as your support will continue for the next 9 years. Now, we don't know what happens after that. We don't know what the FCC has in store for regulated telephone companies like you. But for at least for the next 9 years, we do know the story. And it certainly looks like a very positive one, and a brave step that certainly the cooperative is going to reap the benefits of for the next 9 years. So in conclusion, I, as a cooperative member, if I'm sitting in this, well, not in this room, but if I'm listening to this video, I would be very proud of my cooperative and feel very good about the operating results and its financial stability. And I, as your external auditor, am here to attest to the numbers that you're seeing, that they are correct. And you can take that to the bank, I suppose. That being said, that's all I had for you today. I appreciate the opportunity to do this. Hopefully, a year from now, we're looking at each other again face to face in a room, and we've returned to somewhat of a normal phase. But certainly appreciate the opportunity and look forward to talking to you again in the future. For now, goodbye, and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Skidmore. I really love that Bucks logo on the above your light switch there. I hope everybody caught that. Sorry we couldn't watch any of them either this year. Brenda, do you have another Facebook question for us?
Yes. Shirley from Hazleton writes in that she was grateful for the services that BEK provided during the pandemic. The upgrades of the internet service allowed her kids to go to school from home and her husband to also work from home. She's asking, what other things did BEK do to help their members during this difficult time?
I'm going to let Derek take that one.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Well, that was a very chaotic period of time. There were lots of requests. We had over 12,000 phone calls over the period of about 6 weeks for people wanting to upgrade or change services or add services that they didn't have. And as a result of that, we ended up upgrading over 8,000 internet services from 250 meg to 500 meg, 200 from 500 meg to 1 gig, and 50 up to 2.5 gig. Also, we installed 275 new fiber connections to customers that didn't have fiber to their premises, and we deployed over 1,000 conference bridge ports at the request of business customers and implemented 350 video conferencing endpoints. So it was a very busy time, and when our customers needed us the most, we stepped up and we delivered for them. Thank you very much, Shirley, for your question.
I might also add with that we employed about 18 Bucks football players to help fill in. We had them locating wires to pulling cables in hospitals. And we also, I lost it. Bylaws establish 2 ways to become a candidate: Committee on Nominations and petition. The following candidates are nominated by the Committee on Nominations on February 26, 2020. District 1, Sanford Williams Wing. District 2, Bob Subert Robinson. District 3, Kevin Bernhardt Linton. In District 1, Sanford Williams has been nominated from District 1. The cooperative did not receive any additional petition for director candidates as stated in the bylaws on becoming a candidate. Sanford Williams was re-elected with 213 votes. Congratulations, Director Williams. In District 2, Bob Subert has been nominated from District 2. The cooperative did not receive any additional petition for director candidates as stated in the bylaws on becoming a candidate. Bob Subert was re-elected with 232 votes. Congratulations, Director Subert. In District 3, Kevin Bernhardt was nominated from District 3. The cooperative did not receive any additional petition for director candidates as stated in the bylaws on becoming a candidate. Kevin Bernhardt was re-elected with 296 votes. Congratulations, Director Bernhardt. Brenda, another question from Facebook, please.
I have Dave from Wishick. Dave said he has always been interested in becoming a BEK nominating committee member, and he's wondering, how does he get selected to be on the nominating committee?
The directors pick a member from their districts, the districts that do have candidates running. So if you want to be a nominee member, committee nominee member, all you have to do is get a hold of your director, and I'm sure they will help you out in that regard. Thank you, Dave, for your question. At this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to Monty Rognaby, legal counsel from Vogel Law Firm, to review the election results for the bylaw amendments. Monty?
Thank you, President Stroh. Good evening. The first proposed amendment can be found on page 18 in the annual report booklet. And this amendment is to Article 1, Section 1, which is the authorization for the designation of the service area for the cooperative. The question was, shall this section be amended to permit the cooperative's board of directors the authority to establish the designated area of the cooperative for purposes of defining the area for membership? There were 784 yes votes, 179 no votes, 66 spoiled votes, and bylaw amendment number 1 passed. Proposed bylaw amendment number 2 can be found on pages 18 to 22 in your annual report booklet. And this is a proposed amendment to Article 3, Sections 3, 4, and 5 of the bylaws. And the proposal to the members were, shall the procedures for conducting meetings of the members of the cooperative, such as this meeting, be amended to authorize the cooperative's board to allow concurrent real-time participation in meetings of members through the internet or other electronic communications technology. So instead of using a signed ballot, people could participate live tonight at this meeting. There were 765 yes votes, 209 no votes, 55 spoiled ballots, and that bylaw amendment number 2 passed. Bylaw amendment number 3 is on page 22 of your booklet, and it's on Article 5, Section 1, and the question presented to the members was, shall this section be amended to authorize the cooperative's board of directors to conduct the board's annual reorganization meeting at a location different from the location of the annual meeting? There were 703 yes votes, 284 no votes, and 42 spoiled ballots, and bylaw amendment number 3 passed. So all 3 of the proposed bylaw amendments passed as part of the signed ballots.
Thank you, Mr. Rognaby. Ask Brenda for another Facebook question. Brenda?
I have a question from Paul in Steele. Paul said he really enjoyed attending the annual meeting in person and loves the beef supper and enjoys the ice cream bars. He also enjoyed this year the convenience of being able to vote from home and mail in his ballot. He's wondering, would the board consider having an in-person annual meeting with the beef supper and also letting the members have the mail-in signed voting procedure as they did this year?
With the bylaw amendment that we have approved tonight, we can certainly do that and also have the meeting in person and online and in real time. And what that would simply mean is that we could have the meeting as we are tonight, but you could be watching it and vote from home as we're doing the meeting. Kind of cool, huh? Modern technology. Thank you, Paul, for your question. I will now ask Derek Bullowa, BEK's CEO, to give his report. Derek?
Before I begin with my report, as usual, I'd like to have us take a look back at the year in review. So, Jordan, let's roll it.
Welcome to the 68th annual meeting of BEK Communications Cooperative and a brief look at our 2019 year in review. In February 2019, the nominating committee met to discuss the regular elections in District 1, 3, and 4 at the June 13th annual meeting. There was also discussion about the special District 2 election due to the upcoming retirement of Director Doug Kalianoff. No bylaw changes were proposed. The 2019 annual meeting was themed Co-op Strong. It was attended by 241 registered voters with 496 total meals served. The Knights of Columbus 4th Degree Assembly 785 from Mandan and Assembly 791 from Bismarck presented the flags at the opening of BEK Communications Cooperative's annual meeting. The national anthem was sung by St. Philip's Men's Choir from Napoleon. The 2019 Board of Directors consisted of Sanford Williams of Wing and Shane Morris of Regan, serving District 1, President Brett Stroh of Tappan and Doug Kalianoff of Steele, serving District 2, Vice President Kevin Bernhardt and Vicki Martin from Linton and Leo Meyer of Hague, representing District 3, and Secretary-Treasurer Bill Becker and Gerald Burlack of Wishick, serving District 4. During the annual meeting, Director Kalianoff was presented with a commemorative clock to thank him for his years of service to our cooperative. The BEK Common Sense Grant Program was started in 2004 to provide community outreach and economic development project support to meet the current and future needs of our cooperative communities. Applications are accepted twice a year in January and July. Since the program began, nearly $100,000 has been awarded in grant dollars. BEK Communications has been awarding scholarships to students for over 25 years. In 2019, we received many scholarship applications from high school seniors throughout BEK's service area. Congratulations to these 9 $500 scholarship winners. BEK Communications also awarded scholarships to students attending University of Mary and Valley City State University. There were no VCSU applicants in 2019. Congratulations to Daniel Kraft from rural Morton County for being awarded the University of Mary Scholarship. BEK Communications has continued to advance its mission to serve the members of the cooperative by providing capital credits. In 2019, $6,557,633 of patronage was allocated back to the members. Estate requirements in 2019 totaled $637,572. General retirements in 2019 totaled $500,000, consisting of 1999's allocation. In total, BEK Communications retired $1,137,572 in 2019. In 2019, BEK Communications was recognized by Broadband Now with 2 regional awards and a national award. These awards highlight BEK's commitment to fast, reliable, and future-proof internet service to rural communities. BEK is also recognized as a GIG-certified internet provider through the NTCA. The chairman of the Federal Communications Commission, Ajit Pai, paid a visit to BEK Communications in September. He talked with customers from rural Mandan and learned about the transformational effects of BEK Lightband Internet in our local communities and small businesses. BEK Sports continues to expand its broadcasting of local sporting events on a yearly basis, and 2019 was no exception. Through its continued delivery of BEK area games, along with the coverage of games from 7 other North Dakota telcos, BEK Sports has kept its promise to the viewers of North Dakota by living its motto, local sports, live, statewide. After acquiring Intercommunity Telephone Company in 2018, BEK quickly got busy planning the expansion of BEK Fiber into the 1,600 square mile territory. The second year of construction is already underway, and we also held several events inviting the public to learn more about us and sign up for BEK services. Construction is also in progress in South Morton County. BEK was awarded the Community Connect grant for the area in 2019. Public sign-up events were held with lots of curious and eager visitors who asked for BEK to get to their homes as quickly as possible. Boring under the Missouri River is still scheduled for the summer of 2020. This year's theme is Think Big, Inspired Locally. Thinking big is woven into BEK's DNA. We were one of the first fiber-to-the-home providers back in 2004, and the first and only North Dakota cooperative to start a broadcasting business in 2006. BEK has gone on to develop popular cloud products and services that are among the most popular and fastest growing products we offer. We continue to be inspired by the strength and vision in our cooperative founders and local communities. Your support is the reason BEK Communications continues to be local and a statewide leader in fast, reliable internet and in media and cloud-based services. Thank you for another successful year from the BEK Communications Cooperative.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that annual year in review. Those guys do a great job. It's a collaboration between the broadcast team and the marketing department, and it really gives you a nice set of highlights for what we accomplished last year and important information on how your cooperative performed. Now, in order to look forward sometimes, you have to look backwards. About a year ago on Facebook, I saw a newspaper clip from the Tacoma News-Times from April 11th, 1953. As you remember, BEK was formed in 1952, so this is just after that. The headlines were, "There'll be no escape in future from telephones." And again, take in mind, this is 1953. Pasadena Associated Press, "The telephones of the future." Mark R. Sullivan, San Francisco president and director of the Pacific Telephone and Telegraph Company, said in an address on Thursday night, "Just what form the future telephone will take is of course pure speculation. But here is my prophecy. In its final development, the telephone will be carried about by an individual, perhaps as we carry a watch today. It probably will require no dial or equivalent, and I think the users will be able to see each other when they're talking to each other. Who knows but what it may actually translate from one language to another." Now imagine in 1953, someone saying that. You'd think they're crazy. Well, here we are, 67 years later. And you see on your screen a 1953 pocket watch and a rotary dial telephone. And below that you see an Apple Watch and an iPhone. Well, the Apple Watch fits on my wrist and the iPhone fits in my pocket. He seemed to have got those right. And FaceTime. Everybody that has an iPhone today uses FaceTime. You can actually see the people on the other phone while you're talking to them. That was part of his prophecy. And the last one, which is the most unbelievable, is that it'll do language translation. That's a very common application you can get on any iPhone today where it does real-time translation of language. So it's not that he had a great prophetic look into the future. It's that he looked at the technologies that he was working with at that time, and he looked forward and said, with innovation, these things will come. It's funny. That's exactly how your board of directors behaves today. With innovation, we can provide better service. And every month when we meet with them, they reinforce the fact that we exist here to provide service through innovation, and it's our responsibility to deliver products and services when you need them or before you need them. And there's a few reasons for that. It's because our environment is changing dynamically, not just from a competitive standpoint, where every one of our services has at least 3 competitors out there, but from a regulatory standpoint. The FCC has been driving change for the last 15 years aggressively, and they have been trying to work us all out of what was the rate of return regulatory framework to get funding, where we would invest and we were guaranteed a return on it. They've now started to push us into another direction called Alternative Connect America model, where you get a fixed amount of funding each year, and that funding is for 10 years. Last year, the board had to make a critical strategic decision. That was, do we accept the new funding mechanism? They considered a decline in our population in our rural areas, the declining use of the wired phone line, and also the reduction in funding in the rate of return model, and they elected to use the new funding program called ACAM, and that started for us last year. So we have 9 years left. So it gives us 9 more years of predictable revenue from universal service support. It gives us more flexibility, and it's much less burdensome. But the catch is, in 2029, there's no more funding. So that means your cooperative has to continue to grow its service area and its product line. And today we get $8 million a year from the Universal Service Fund. So we have to make sure that we fill the void that's going to happen in 2029. One of the tools that we've used for the last decade, because your board is has great foresight. They saw this coming 10 years ago. And they said, management team, go find a way to grow, go find grants. And we competitively won over $17 million worth of grant funding in the last 9 years to expand our footprints, expand to Barnes County, other parts of Burleigh County, Morton County, Oliver County, to grow our footprint to acquire more customers, giving us the possibilities for long-term survival. But that's not enough. We have to grow our product lines. So as we've talked about in the past years, we have 3 basic product lines. We have your network services product lines, which is driven by your BEK fiber, and your gigabit internet service, which is of the best in the country. You have your BEK television, or your media and your entertainment product lines, of which BEK Sports Broadcasting is the cornerstone in that particular business line, and there'll be more exciting things to come later this year. And your BEK cloud products. We have a full stack of cloud products and services. Of the most well-known, your BEK Connect product, which is your business phone service, which reaches out to 12 states in this region, and quickly growing behind that, your cloud-based watch camera services. The one surprise that we didn't expect this year is the overperformance that we're going to see out of the BEK Care Solutions business line, which focuses on hospital systems for nurses and for doctors in hospitals and long-term care. We're expecting that particular business line to overperform this year by over 300%. A couple highlights that it's important to take away from today's meeting is the graph in the upper left. The red line shows the growth and the dominance of your network services internet product. How of all of the internet products, it's surpassing everything. And you notice your phone lines, the blue line, that had a little uptick this past year. That because we acquired a company in our community, but phone lines, I will tell you, on a decline. And television services are very competitive and have been stable or declining for the past 3 years. On the lower right-hand side of the screen, the dominant cloud product is your BEK Connect product, and it's got, like you said, in this particular snapshot of type of product, it's got almost 5,000 desk phones out there in businesses across the Northern Plains. And wrapping it all up, this is how we look at the health of your business. How many customers and how many business service units do you have out there? We've almost got 12,000 customers, which we've more than doubled in the last 5 years, and we have just under 28,000 service units. It's important to understand that if we continue to grow to fulfill that void, the targets that we have to hit, it's probably tripling our customer base and probably doubling our revenue. So we've got 9 years to do it, and it's something that's going to be the continued focus of the management team and the continued focus of the board for the next 9 years. Brenda, do we have any questions from the floor?
Yes, we have Karen in Wilton. She says she enjoys watching her grandkids playing sports on BEK Sports, but it's difficult paying the high cable bill each month. She's wondering if BEK has a more affordable cable TV option.
Karen, that is a great question. That's one we get every day. Although we don't control the packaging or the pricing of the cable products that we get, nor does any of the other cable operators or satellite operators, that's controlled by the content providers. We're looking for products and ways to give you more choices. We're testing and evaluating products today that will hopefully give you more choices and a broader set of packages to choose from, so you can get the local content you want plus some national content, all the way up to the premium services that, you know, a high-end consumer would also expect. So thank you, Karen, for the question, and that's something that we focus on every day, and please feel confident that the board is going to come up with an answer within the next few months. All right, and as we do in every annual meeting, we have our door prizes. So we have a door prize drawing that we're going to do for the members, and the drawing is going to come from those members that sent in signed ballots. So the first winner of the $300 door prize is Cordell Bettenhausen from Wishick. Congratulations, Cordell. The second door prize goes to Dorothy Grunsteth from Dawson. It's $200. Congratulations, Dorothy. And the last one, Tim Kelch from Linton, $100. Congratulations. And for you, I hope to see you all in person next year so we can do the drawings then. But today, we have a special thing. something we've not done before. And it is a kids Zoom with all of the kids that were able to join us on the Zoom Live. So hello kids, welcome to the BEK annual meeting. How exciting is this? Oh my God. So as you can see, we have some kids that have been able to join us at the annual meeting. And, woo, man, are they loud. What I want to let you kids know is all of you that were able to join, you're going to get a special gift box. And this special gift box is for our BEK virtual kids. And we appreciate your participation in the annual meetings. You know, I wish you were down in front. We always have more fun, but this is the way we have to do it this year. And also joining us were Clark the Lark from the Bismarck Larks, entertaining the kids, and Tag from the Bismarck Bucks. And we did a drawing, and we got over 20 kids that joined out of over 100 that applied, and you 20 have got one of these gift boxes. But that's not all. It gets better. We have a Nintendo Switch as a grand prize for one lucky kid. You'll be able to, we'll ship this to you for your participation in the annual meeting. And the winner is Easton from Robinson. Congratulations, Easton. You've won the Nintendo Switch. Thank you very much, kids, for your participation. I hope to see some of you next year in person. Mr. Chairman? Back to you, sir.
Thank you, Derek. How enlightening to see those kids. I got to tell you a story. Derek, since this pandemic started, is kind of these Hawaiian shirt type of guys. So every day of the pandemic, when they're all locked up in that little building over there and can't see anybody, he's coming to work with a different Hawaiian shirt. Well, tonight we walk in here and we see all of our employees with BEK Hawaiian shirts. And guess what? Derek has to wear a white shirt. Ha ha ha. All right. I want to say, stay inspired so we can think big. That's what's going to get us through all this. Thank you for participating in the 68th annual meeting of the BEK Communications Cooperative. The meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.